called Due Dissidence. And it's interesting because these guys were reporting on the recent comedy show in Saudi Arabia where a lot of these top comics got paid to go over and perform for the Saudi royalty. And a lot of people look at that as kind of selling out because of their suspected involvement in 9/11, the way they run their country. They don't really give women rights. They have slaves, all kinds of crazy stuff going on over there. But let's see. But these guys here do Dissidence, man. They're so funny. You got to go check out their page. But these guys, it's crazy to me that these guys really believe, or they're having trouble believing, that these people would take the money over the more moral thing, which is like, why do you believe this? Why are you so surprised? Like, these guys are rich capitalists. You know what I'm saying? Dave Chappelle, he showed up to they were trying to put some affordable housing, and these guys reported on this. They were trying to get some affordable housing put in where Dave Chappelle lived. He shows up, not his lawyer representation. He shows up and says, hey, I don't want to see this in my neighborhood. I don't want to see this out here. Affordable housing. This is the guy that, supposed to be the moral. Like, these guys, once they get their money, man, it's over with, man. You should know this. Well, I guess you don't know this because you still have not been bit by that bug because you don't have a lot of money. But if you start getting rich, do dissidence, guys, trust me, you're going to be doing the same shit. You're going to be over there in Saudi Arabia making that podcast. Don't lie. But my thing is, why are you so surprised, though? Watch this right here.
To take the money has been Dave Chappelle, and going to David Cross's point, exactly. You're fucking Dave Chappelle. You need the money. It's not like you haven't worked since the Chappelle show. He's got a huge deal with Netflix. They've given tens of millions.
It ain't about needing money. You got to understand, with capitalists, it ain't about needing money. It's about getting more. I need more. And you guys know this. I know you guys know this because I've learned a lot of this from y'all watching y'all channel. So I know y'all know this. Dave Chappelle no different. None of these people different, man. Once they get that money, but like I say, what they should do, what you should do, you too, is just stay average, man. Don't take that Netflix deal, man. Don't take that when they come to you, because they coming to y'all, man. Y'all talented. When they come to you, man, don't take that deal, man. Watch this right here.
Of dollars. Like, why would you light your integrity on fire this way? Like, you really need the money that bad?
They don't need the money. It ain't needing the money. It's they need more. That's what it is.
Like, the top number I've heard that anyone got paid is $1.5 million. Chappelle don't need $1.5 million.
Yeah, it's really crazy. It's just really craven.
Unreal.
Like, these guys are speechless. Like, they can't believe it. Man, like, what do you think these people are gonna do? I'll be honest, man. They come to me with the right amount, I'm going over there. Unfortunately, I ain't talented, so it is what it is. But yeah, they act so surprised. Like, what? How can they do this? They don't need it. They don't need it though. The guy's like about to cry. It's gonna be all right, brother. It's gonna be all right. Oh man. This is what the Saudis saying to all of y'all right here. This is what the Saudis saying.
Nigga, I created you, nigga. Well, God created you, but I help.
They making people, man. We just sat and watched the fight between Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. We watched the fight. No one said nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? They didn't say Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez was selling out. So why you so surprised over here? Of course these guys gonna sell out, man. They going for the money. That's why they got into this. Come on, man. Get it together over there, Due Dissidence. You guys are better than this, man. But because we are talking about Due Dissidence, man, I gotta speak on something here real quick. Because this is no diss to those guys, man. Like, I love those guys, man. And, I look up to those guys. They real funny, man. They got big backgrounds in media, and they've been doing this for a long time, man. I look up to these guys, so this is no diss to them. But this next video I'm about to play is they were doing a story on Steve-O, which was really a diss to Bill Maher. I know they was really trying to just dig at Bill Maher with this, but the problem is just that they don't really understand the nature of addiction. I don't really get into addiction on this channel, even though it is called Secrets to Recovery. But I don't really get into addiction on this channel because it's one of the secrets to recovery is that you become more involved with life and live life on life's terms and don't be so focused on the disease. You know, it's like if somebody has cancer and all they do is just they're studying how cancer works and what it does. And my thing is most people have, you know, especially people that are in recovery, most of them have heard it all, seen it all. They've been through all the programs. It's time to start talking about life after. You know, life after recovery, life, you know, what kind of life do you want for yourself? And one of the secrets to that is, man, is get involved with what's going on in the world around you. You know, if you are a Republican, lean into that, study that, you know, follow what's going on in that world. You know, if you're a Democrat, if you're into music, if you're into, you know, what's going on. But my thing is you should at least be into the current events a little bit just to be involved and know what's going on in the world around you. Because it'll serve as a good, I don't want to say distraction, but it'll serve as a good something else to focus on so that you don't have these times of craving. Let me jump back over here real quick. Summer Jam screen. So we got these guys Due Dissidence, and they're talking about this story where Steve-O from Jackass, he's being asked to come on to the Bill Maher show. But he's asking Bill Maher, hey, could you not smoke weed while I'm on the show? And I understand it seems like a reasonable request, you know, but the only reason he can make such a request like that is because he's a rich dude. He made his money. He got his career. He's got his thing. So he can turn down stuff like this. But when you look at the Blue Book, if you ever been to NAAA, if you're familiar with any of that, when you look at the Blue Book, it talks about a story in there where the guy or the person has to go to a restaurant where they serve alcohol. And he has to be able to, you know, sit in that restaurant because he's there for a work meeting. And that's a part of living life on life's terms. You know, the world isn't going to hide itself from you. You know, you can't go into situations and expect that people are going to stop using, people are going to stop doing what they do, you know, but you still have to be able to move through life on its terms. You know, you going into a situation and saying, hey, I want everybody in here to stop drinking, stop smoking. That's not life on life's terms. Life on life's terms is you realize, hey, I've got to go into this place. There's going to be people smoking and stuff there, but life demands that I go in here. And I'm going to have to hold it together. And you have to get to a place in your recovery where you can see something and it not send you over the edge just because you saw it. You know, that's real recovery, man. That's when you know you really, you know, you made it. When things are dependent on you, not what somebody else is doing. So in this clip right here, you're going to see Steve-O talking about this. Watch this.
There's nothing more that I protect than my recovery. And I found it kind of upsetting when the Bill Maher podcast, which I saw you on, reached out, and they you know, his thing is he smokes pot the whole time while he interviews people, and I said, hey, I'd happily go on there, but could he, while I'm on, out of respect for my sobriety, could he refrain from smoking pot? He said no. He said no, that's a deal breaker. Wow. And Mike Tyson's podcast is called Hotboxing. Like the whole point, like, be real. All of these prolific potheads, I've been on their shows, and it wasn't so important to them to blow.
Okay, so he's saying, oh, I go on these shows, they all do it. Listen, you only can say this because you are a rich fuck. And you get to demand what interviews you have. For somebody that's just up and coming, especially somebody that's in recovery, and you want to, let's say you're in recovery and you want to be a podcaster, interview people and stuff like that. If Bill Maher invites you on your show, you're not going to tell him to stop smoking. You know what I'm saying? If you go on this Patrick Bet David, nobody's gonna style you. You can't tell people to stop smoking. You can say that when you get to a big point and you have a demand. But these guys do dissonance. They just don't understand the nature of addiction and how these things work. But the reality is you can't demand that people go and just, change what they're doing on the account of you decided to stop doing things. That's just not how life works. And we got to realize that if you're gonna decide, hey, you want to change your life around, you got to do that for you. And what that means is doing it for you is that it doesn't matter what everyone else is doing. You're gonna still be on your journey, your page that you want. So that's one of the secrets to recovery right there, man, is that you have to be able to let the world be the world. The world is not gonna change itself for you. That's what you could clip that. The world is not gonna change itself for you, and the world is not gonna hide itself from you. And another thing I'll give you just on that same lane is just because a person decides to get their life together in recovery, no one owes you a belief in that. If you decide, hey, I'm going to start getting my life together, there's going to be people that still think, you using. There's going to be people that still say you ain't shit. But you have to keep on your page. Your life will be the proof. You can't go in certain situations and demand that people adjust themselves to you, so that off of there real quick.